Right, boys, let's get going, eh? We can't around today.
Are you heard from Pierre yet?
I've got to wait till about 8 o'clock and he's going to ring me and let us know whether he can get these crays on here or not.
Skipper Jay is banking on a call from his fish buyer to confirm a 200-kilogram lobster order.
You know, it's only our second trip now in 9 weeks. We're 240 grand down on income, so, you know, this is a really important day for us.
But there's a catch.
Piero's trying to get today's catch onto a flight, which is going to be the last flight out of WA for some time. I don't know if we're going to get on there or not, and if we don't, you know what that means.
Yeah.
So we need to get this done and get to Hillary's on time, or we could be missing out.
If they miss the live export flight to China, the crew will be forced to throw $6,000 worth of lobsters back into the ocean.
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's not started.
Tell you, I don't need this morning. Nah, I'm not getting my gen set to start.
This time,
What'd you do here? I'm not the deckhand, mate. I'm the captain.
veteran skipper Scuzzy goes out on a limb,
I'm worried about his knots now. I'm worried he's fish-baiting them up.
throwing greenhorn Bryce a much-needed lifeline.
If I find out you come straight back here, I'll have to cut your balls off.
If we don't make the deadline and these crays don't get on the plane, we're going to be down $6,000–7,000.
A vital payday for the Corrado crew
That's garbage.
hangs in the balance.
Look at that. Oh,
And fortune favours the brave men of the Kaikoura.
This is why we come to Jurassic Park. That's just a pot full of monsters. We haven't hit the jackpot yet because we've still got to get out of here.
Western Australia.
doesn't want to turn over. All right, let's go down. Have a quick look. Let's go. I'm not getting my gen set to start, so either my battery for my gen set's packed it in, or something else is going on.
Third-generation lobsterman Jay and nephews Matt and Robbie are trying to restart their fishing business.
Talk about Murphy's Law. When you don't need to go wrong, it goes wrong.
But a dead genset has left the Corrado with no electrical power.
Our 7 kVA genset. This generates all our 240 power, which also runs the big 3-phase pumps that fill our cray tanks. So without the genset, we don't have water on the crays. Without water on the crays, we don't have a day's fish.
Having lost $240,000 in revenue for the season, Jay's pinning his hopes on a spare battery.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. Is it again?
That's what we want.
All the oils and water levels are fine, so I wasn't any concern about there being a problem with the engine itself. It just turned out the battery was a bit low on charge, so we had a spare one on the boat, so we just swapped that out, chucked the other battery in, and away she went. All pumps are blazing. I've just got to wait now to receive a phone call in from my processor to see whether he might have been able to sneak one more load in on a plane.
Airlines around the country are shutting down due to the global pandemic. Jay's sweating on a phone call from his fish buyer to confirm a 200-kilo export order.
These really ordinary price that we're getting, $33 a kilo, I think is my highest grade today. You know, it's still $6–7 grand. You know, it's still a reasonable day's pay for everyone if we get to keep it.
We're doing half the price that we still doing the same job but getting half the amount of money. That doesn't change.
Matt and Robbie have both lost $24,000 in wages since the market crashed.
Look, he's got my work boots on. Oh, yeah. If you buy yourself, it's not too bad, but when you don't, when you got a couple kids at home, you want to make as much money as you can, don't you?
Their second payday in 9 weeks comes down to securing cargo space on a plane.
If I don't get the phone call this morning to say bring those 200 kilo home, whatever we catch, yeah, we're just pouring it back into the sea, and we're doing it all for love again. Oh, jumbo!
It's my pot!
Big that your pot?
Yep.
Takes out a big rooster. Look at that.
Weapon. That's a good sized crate for inside, man.
Yeah, that's a good big rooster. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter how good they are. We have to chuck them all away.
Their immediate future hinges on this call. Either they'll get to keep their catch and make some money.
Hey, good morning, mate. How are you?
Or they'll need to throw thousands of dollars worth of lobsters back into the sea.
Yeah, no. Okay. Oh, considering. What's the story?
It's been 5 years since I had a different deckhand on here, isn't it, Toad?
It'll be 6, close to 7.
7 years.
Kilometres east in Tasmania. And the bold contender crew is preparing to depart Margate Wharf on a 3-day run.
What did you do to your hand?
Put a glass jar through the bottom of it. Jar exploded in my hand and shattered. And
For how long?
they reckon a month, but I told them 2 weeks.
I reckon 6.
I reckon 2.
Squeezy's injured deckhand Tabor will sit this one out.
So what do I need to do on here?
Everything, mate.
Everything.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Greenhorn skipper Bryce will take his place.
I get the feeling I might have to come out to give you a hand, though. Do you reckon, Toad?
Yeah. Give me a hand with all the blank pots.
Don't worry, he's not going to take the job, mate. I can tell already he ain't going to take it.
I'm looking forward to seeing one shot with like 200 fish. It'd be really good to see, I think. Just spent 150 grand on this boat. I really can't afford for it to fail.
Bryce's first solo trip to sea was a disaster.
Here goes another $300.
Following a series of rookie errors.
That's my day's catch. That's it.
Bryce limped back into port close to $4,500 in the red.
Just take the loss and be done with it. Oh, let's go have some fun.
Hopefully we can teach the bloke what knows it all something.
With a $150,000 boat loan to repay, Bryce is desperate to get his season back on track. He's offered to Decky for free in exchange for an opportunity to learn from one of the finest skippers in the fleet.
It's going to be a learning curve for Bryce and me. I mean, he's the young buck that's come out. He's going to try and run the deck of the boat tender by himself. I'll have to get out and give him a big hand, I reckon. But I'll teach him a couple of different things in here as well. Help him out. I don't mind young blokes coming into the industry and having a crack.
The area of fishing that I need to be learning is how to put my pots in better spots. There's a little bit of deck work involved in that, but really I need a deckhand so I can focus on just doing wheelhouse work and focusing on reading the sounder and the plotter and everything like that. Focusing more on my shots rather than baiting pots, really.
I hope you're not a Joan, I'm one of them blokes who bring heaps of bad luck, because you just done a trip with 35 fish. I hope you don't bring that luck on here.
We don't need luck, we just need lobsters.
You've got to remember that the captain's always right. I know he's the captain, but he's on this boat now, so I'm the captain.
How are you, Steve? I thought I'd give you a quick buzz. We've got about 900 kilo on. I was wondering whether we could sort of do another 2 or 3 days. Are you there, Steve? I might have lost you. That's a prig of a thing.
On the remote west coast of Tasmania,
It's so remote, not even the sat phone's working.
skipper Crackerr is trying to call his wholesale fish buyer, hoping to upsize his original 900 kilo order.
Sometimes if you move, it gives you a better signal. But we've got to try and get that extra couple of dollars. It's pretty important at the moment. Yeah, there's not going to be much profit in this trip. From this time last year, we're about $150,000 down in turnover. Yeah, the price halving has halved our turnover.
Crackerr and deckhand Scotty
Certainly hoping the swell doesn't kick up here.
have spent the last 8 days risking their lives dinghy fishing in the shallows.
Pot of the day. There's a lot of pressure for not only my family, for Scott's family. There's a lot of relying on us catching the fish.
The men were due to return home to their families today.
Absolutely no signal at all. I wonder if I stand like this, hold my finger up in the air, whether it'll help work.
But with the lobster price in freefall and no guarantees of when they'll be able to fish again,
G'day, Steve. Sorry, I've had trouble getting bloody signal.
Crackerr wants to lock in a bigger order.
I was saying there, we had got about 900 kilo on, yeah, just wondering sort of whether we can do another 2 or 3 days, whether you'll take them or not. Yeah, that's all right. Yep, I know what you mean.
We'll just have to take whatever we can get, whatever the market's delivering. It's really up to the processors. If they can't get rid of the fish, yeah, we're sort of buggered there. We've got to sit at home and we don't get paid. So we rely on them for their market to get rid of the fish.
Thanks, cheers, Steve. Scotty, we're right for another few 100 kilo. He's already stressed on the phone today that he wants bigger ones.
The upsized 1,100 kilo order will deliver a $10,000 bonus.
That's Jurassic Park over there. That's our secret name for it.
But it involves rolling the dice in the dinghy one more time.
Piece of bottom over here where no one goes because it's too shallow. They knock their outboards about getting in there and everything's just massive.
Massive reds come with massive risk. They'll be fishing one of the most dangerous areas in Tasmania.
This is well known for probably the biggest fish on the coast. Welcome to Jurassic Park. The home of the monsters.
Oh, you have? Oh, sweet. So 200 kilo? Oh, bonus. Oh, that means we don't have to chuck it away then. That makes today a little bit more worthwhile. Thank goodness for that. So yeah, last plane ride over, eh? Last bit of airspace. Sweet.
In Western Australia, skipper Jay has been sweating on a call from his fish buyer.
Hey boys, the news is good.
We get to keep the craze today?
We do. Yep. 200 kilo like he originally said.
Yeah, we can.
Right, so we'll go through, we'll fill up 7 baskets, tag them up, lock them down, then we'll just start chucking the rest away.
Yeah,
So,
not just love.
No love. A little bit of love, but we'll get
you love working
but
with
there's
me.
some coin involved for everyone today, so
Yeah.
everyone's going to get some money, which is gold. Let's go, eh? Get into it. Turn and burn.
The news is bittersweet. The crew are going to get paid, but it'll be their last paycheck for the foreseeable future. Flights out of Western Australia are grounded. Their buyers told them not to reset their pots.
Chucking all the bait back, chucking all the bones out anyway, and then we're not baiting them because we're keeping the pots on the boat, so.
The issues we're having now is the Chinese market is starting to come back online. That's a good thing for us, but our issue is we aren't able to get any flights out of WA to get our lobsters to China. The big processors just say, that's it, boys. We're shutting the doors.
Their $6,600 payday hinges on getting the 200 kilo order to the fish buyer in time, or the deal is off.
He said, get the crays here by 1 o'clock if you can. Otherwise, you know, we may not be able to get them on the plane. If we don't get them on the plane, we won't be getting paid for them. So the pressure's on for us to be down there at Hillary's by 1 o'clock.
One lobster.
They'll need to average just over 2 kilos a pot to remain on track.
Oh, come on. It'll be better than that. Sake, come on. That's garbage. Absolute garbage.
The only time I ever vomit, gag, hate my life, don't want to do fishing is when I have to chop bait up.